Alright everybody, what's up? I've been waiting for this video. I've been slacking a little bit, but let's cut right to the chase about these Clippers. They choked. They're the same old trash Clippers, bottom of the Staples Center team. They just blew their best chance to win a championship against the Denver Nuggets? Are you serious right now? First, let's go through the hype that the Clippers were receiving before the season started. I was hearing Kawhi and PG are the best duo since Michael and Scottie Pippen. Huh? I was hearing this bench is unstoppable. This bench could be a starting lineup for most teams. What? This team is full of dogs. Who wants to go out against all these dogs? LeBron and Lakers are scared of these dogs, or they're soft. Huh? These dogs, these Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Kawhi is the closest thing to Michael. His mid-range game is unstoppable. He's a cyborg. He shows no emotion. They choked. They gagged. They gave up a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. To me, I think the Nuggets are a little bit overrated. Jokic overrated, but I'm going to give them their props since everybody likes to gas them up. Good job to the Denver Nuggets. You beat a very good team. To the Clippers, this is a monumental franchise disaster. And how many of the times that we say this about the Clippers with CP3, Blake Griffin? How many times? Before the season, you have Pat Bev and Lou Will. Oh, Steph Curry, the next 5 years are mine. Y'all, the league's in trouble. The league's in trouble. And this franchise still has not made a conference finals. They need to boost. They need to lower their expectations because this team just blew its best chance. On paper, this team should have won it all. I never thought they were going to win it all, but it should have. It should have made it to the conference finals. Kawhi, PG, Marcus Morris, Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Patterson. This team has good players, good role players, two good stars that play defense. They know how to get a bucket. And they choked 3-1 leads to the Denver Nuggets. Let me give you the main problems with these Clippers teams. First, I'm going to start with the amount of talent they have. This is overrated. Sometimes you need scrub players on your team. So they have too many people that want the ball, too many people to run the offense, too many people that want to score, too many people worry about their own numbers. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, Pat Bev, Kawhi, PG, Marcus Morris. Yes, there's a lot of people who can go to the bucket. Reggie Jackson, I can keep naming them. But you don't have the right players to where you can form an offense around. You could move the ball around. You know who's going to get a shot when. Their offense struggled the entire year. Their offense was comprised of mostly Kawhi has the ball, ISO, kick out within the last 5 seconds. There was no rhythm. There was no set plays. There was no screen and rolls. There was none of that. They had no one to run the offense properly. Another problem I see with this team is Paul George. Ever since Paul George left Indiana's career has been in the toilet, to be truthful. He went to OKC at an MVP type season, then he hurt both his surgeries and had surgery. Both his shoulders got hurt, he needed surgery on them, and he hasn't been the same since. He is not the same player. And in the regular season, he had good games. He was still kind of doing average, but I think his all-star seasons are done. I think he's not going to be MVP caliber type player again. And especially during the playoffs, he has a nickname called Way Off P. Playoff P, Way Off P. Are you serious? In the playoffs, he is now known as a choker, along with James Harden, which I'm sorry to say, and Russell Westbrook. He fits in that mold now. When the moments are the biggest, he's the smallest. And that's sad to say because Paul George used to be one of my favorite players. But he cannot get it done in the playoffs when you need him the most. And that's what he was brought there for. The Clippers cannot make a conference finals. Another problem I see is Kawhi Leonard. Talent-wise, Kawhi Leonard is easily a top 5 player. Is he better than LeBron or KD? Not to me at all. He still has to earn that. Kawhi is not a leader. A couple years ago, Greg Popovich said this about Kawhi. They said he's not a leader. He's a great player, phenomenally talented, but he cannot lead his men. He cannot lead the boys on his team. That's why Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker were there, and Patty Mills. They were the leaders of the team, not Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't talk. He doesn't speak. He's mute. Which no one is forcing him to talk, but your best player has to be the leader of your team, or one of the leaders. But this team has no real leader. Kawhi and PG, they were just able to do what they want, say what they want, and get away with it. There was no repercussions for them. This team, their best lineup only played under 30 games in an NBA season. With stoppage for them to get healthy, their best lineup only played 30 games. That is not going to get it done. For the majority of the season, I heard analysts, I heard the Clippers, I heard Doc Rivers say, yeah, we're just going to turn it on when we needed to. And when he needed to the most, They did not. They choked. A 3-1 lead. You had 3 back-to-back closeout games against a young Denver team, and you could not get it done. Whose fault is that? That's leadership, that's coaching, and that's the talent. Doc Rivers needed to put a boot in their butts and get them into gear. He never could. They lost the fire. They lost the will to fight. Montrezl Harrell, Pat Bev, Lou Will, they all had problems with the starting lineup. They had problems with PG and Kawhi because they felt we're as good as you, but we're getting held to higher standards than you are. You get to show up every other game and barely perform, especially in the playoffs. It's not fair, and I agree with them. Now, another major problem with this Clippers team is I think that was the best constructed Clippers team they're going to get, so I don't know how they're going to win a championship. A scary thing for this Clippers organization, and which is why Doc Rivers is fired, to get Paul George, they now don't have a first-round pick till 2027. What? 2027. You heard me correctly. You heard me right. This team will not be able to draft a first-round NBA player prospect till 2027. Till I am 27 years old with a career and a family. That is bonkers. They're in deep trouble. No picks to draft, no picks to trade, no picks to go and get better players. That's scary. Another problem this Clippers team is, they're going to be a worse team the next year because of multiple free agents that might leave. Montrezl Harrell is a free agent. They have to offer him a bag. Marcus Morris is a free agent. He's going to want a bag. Patrick Patterson isn't as good as a player as he once was, but he's still going to want a bag somewhere else. You have 3 major pieces that potentially can leave. So this team will never be at full strength like it was this year. And the scary thing about that is, if the Clippers don't perform to their standards again next season, Kawhi and Paul George can leave. They can choose not to re-sign, not to opt in, and leave and go into free agency again. So this Clippers team could be stuck until 2027 with a first rounder. If Kawhi and PG feel like, this isn't for me, and leave, that is extremely scary. I commend Steve Ballmer. He is a great owner. He made the big moves to go and get star players and make his team a winning franchise, but the winning players were not enough. The coaching was not enough. Something in this organization is not right. They have a black cat running around to where this happens. The worst case scenario for the Clippers is they lose early again. Paul George and Kawhi both go back into free agency and leave. This team is stuck with players that want bigger contracts. They're stuck with no first round picks. They're stuck with no cap space. They're stuck with no draft assets. No trading assets either. This team will be stuck. And this is what I predicted. This is the difference between a LeBron James and a Kawhi Leonard. LeBron James is a top player on planet Earth right now. He is still the best player. He can make his teammates better. He makes the organization rise. He makes everyone play to their full potential. Kawhi is a great player, don't get me wrong. He does not do that for his team. He's not a motivator. He's not a leader. He can't get guys to play above their potential. He is a guy that's going to give you 26 to 30 a night. He's going to get his, yes. He's going to play defense, yes. But he's not going to elevate his teams. When the Clippers needed someone to go and get a bucket, when they needed someone to motivate them, give them a speech, and allow them to play to their best potential, Kawhi was not there. Paul George was not there. Paul George is mentally checked out. I don't blame him. The bubble was a hard place. But this Clippers team is in serious danger. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm not only firing Doc Rivers, which he already did, I'm looking to trade some pieces. The locker room is in shambles. This locker room is going to have continued problems if they don't change it up. Talent isn't the best way to win championships. You need chemistry. You need playmaking. You need a real point guard. This team has to make some major changes. I would trade Paul George. I don't know. Maybe that's too far. Maybe he'll continue to get healthy and will play up to his expectations. But this Clippers team choked. Kawhi is not the closest thing to Michael Jordan. Stop that. Kawhi and Paul George are not the closest thing to Scottie and Michael. Stop it. They are both great players, but this team choked a 3-1 lead to a young Denver team. That's all I gotta say about it. And that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know what you think I should make a video on next. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you know when I post a new video. Make sure to like, comment, all of that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.